Hey there, YouTube. Another Taurus High Point production. My name's Ray Shepard. Picking up on Black Powder Guide's Shave a Ring of Lead, they said. I'm going to link his video in the description. I'm also throw one to her, maybe if I can get the series, link the series to Blackie Thomas Shaman's Forge Percussion Revolver series. That should be something, yeah, y'all should. The educational value, if you're a new black powder cap and ball shooter and you're going to stay with the cap and ball and not run the conical, that's something, yeah, it's more than the guy behind the counter selling you 440 round ball for a 44 caliber handgun and going I hate those jerks. I like that. Yeah. Anyway, use them as my target actuator. But anyway, these guys are going to get you in a lot of trouble. Those guys behind the counters that are, you know, help you out a little bit. This is a 44 cap and ball. Cap and ball. Okay, 44. Well, then it would take a 44 ball. No. It's a revolver. It's black powder. The ball size would be a higher diameter. A 45. It's different than smokeless, but yet the event and ending are the same. Okay. I know there's a couple guys out there that got a shot up of this. I'm going to try to link their videos in my description also. I'm not trying to take from anyone. I'm trying to enforce what they're saying because I'm finding this out as I've only been doing this about 7 years. Some of these guys have been doing this 25, 30 years. I mean, some have made a career out of shooting this stuff. And I'm learning this stuff as I go along. So if it's a 45 caliber, it would mean it would take a 46 ball. No. This one, 45 caliber, black powder, but it takes the 440 round ball. It also takes a patch. That don't take a patch. That takes a wad. And some people put grease around the end of the cylinder, and I'm going to tell you why I don't, because it just turns into a bloody pussy mess. Won't it keep your fouling soft? Second, third cylinder, you're supposed to rod and clean, at least, and very patch and brush at the very least. I'm not talking strip it down and clean it good. Patch and brush in the chambers of the cylinder. Patch and brush down through the bore, through the barrel, and you're good. Every second. Why would you need your fouling kept soft with the grease? That is not on me. Do what you prefer to do. But that's how a lot of your mishaps in black powder happen. So when I was taught black powder 7 years ago, 8 years ago, it might have been a little longer than that, might have been even 10. Well, whichever, 10, 12 years ago when I first started learning black powder, that was one of the things everybody was, you had to know that. You take one of these out, you take a rifle out and you shoot it 2 or 3 times. You must rod that bore, brush, patch, bare minimum for your safety. Now all of a sudden nobody's doing that anymore. Nobody's ever heard of it. Nobody's got the time. But hey, safety, right? Okay. Again, I'm digressing, getting kind of off the beaten path of what I want to cover. Put my brain back on that right track, bump it back over a ring of lead, so they said, right? It's choosing the right size round ball. But then there are a lot of things that go into that. Get you a set of cheap calipers. I don't care if they're, Arsenal calipers, dial calipers, digital calipers. Measure your cylinder, your chamber. Black Powder Guide goes into all that, and I'll let his video speak for itself. After that, and you got everything set, what size ball do I need? As we discussed, 44 caliber, cap and ball, revolver would take the caliber ball higher. Take a 45 caliber ball. I use 4.51 in mine. I know people use 4.52, 4.54, 4.57. It just, what works for you, what works for what you're shooting, because you got to ram that down in there, don't forget, and clean it up. And as you're cleaning, you might find 4.51 leaves a little open space and it causes a chain fire, so you might step to 4.52 or 4.54. The Dragoons, I know they take a larger 4.54, 4.57, but they're also what they call a 44 caliber or 45 caliber. You have to experiment it and find out what works best for the firearm you're shooting. I've seen some of the videos of the 44 Navy, okay, which existed but didn't exist, or didn't exist that existed, that were made, that were never made, that were made. Yeah. But anyway, I've seen anything in a 4.51 to a 4.57 in those, in the videos. It just depends on how the chambers were cut, if they used a fresh drill or a fresh bit, or if they sharpened the bits in between, or just got done sharpening, and of course the Pieta and Birdie makes. Birdie. It's you, Birdie. Stop it! Ah! Yeah, I had one of the guys torting a comment that way, and I had to go birdie ever since. Woo! But anywho, it's whatever works safely, effectively, and loads the way you would like it to load. And of course, you're not going to try to stuff a 550, 500 round ball into one of these things thinking, I'm getting greater driving bands. What works effectively for both the weapon, the user, the loading process. There's a whole host of things you got to go into to make sure the thing is even ready to be fired. Whether it's one of these or one of those, things are all totally different. And I've even got rifles that are 50 caliber rifles, but take different size round ball and different size pillow ticking. The shot out barrel, who made the barrel? What I've learned is that 50 caliber can go anywhere from .50 to .53. It can be that far off in the barrel and still be considered a 50 caliber. There's that much of a gap between the manufacturers. Nothing is set in there's no one manufacturing spec straight across the board for Pendersoli, CVA, Berga, Green Mountain, Thompson Center. Thompson Center's the last one I ran by those. They came out .503. And where my CVAs are coming in at .501. So again, I would need the greater pillow ticking if I were going to fire the Thompson Center. You have to get out with it, use it. If you can find somebody else that's already in black powder and they can give you 10 or 15 451, 10 or 15 454, and you go out and try these and figure out which ones you like best, which one your firearm likes best, you're going to be better off that way. Like I said, I'm going to add those other guys and their trials and tribulations so that you as a new starter hopefully don't have to befuddle some of the and go for holes we did. Towards High Point Production, I choose, therefore I am responsible.